Okay, we're going to take a look at graphing quadratics. The first one we take a look at is going to be in standard form, and the next one will be in vertex form. These should help you with 61 and 62 from your summer assignment. So the first thing we need, obviously, is the vertex. So hopefully you remember from Algebra 2 that to find the vertex, the x-coordinate is the opposite of b over 2a. So b in this problem is -6, so we're going to do the opposite of that. And then a is that leading 3. So x is a nice easy 1. And then to get y, we substitute into the function up above. So we have 3 times 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 4. And that also gets us to 1. So our vertex for this problem is just 1, 1. So we plot that here on our grid. And then from there, we have to get a few more points to the left and the right of that so we can kind of see what the rest of the parabola looks like. So let me get myself some space here. I'll erase some of that. And we'll go ahead and make an XY table so we can take a look at what the rest of this is going to look like. So if you just put that vertex of 1, 1 right in the middle of the table, and then you just want to go the same distance to the left as you do to the right, so we'll just go 1 to the left and 1 to the right. And when we fill in those values into the function, that'll give you our coordinates for y. So here we have 3 times 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 4 gets us to 4. And then because we also went 1 distance away to the right, we should also get a 4 down here. If you substitute this 2 up in here, 3 times 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 4 also gets you to 4. So we can plot those. So we have 0, 4, and 2, 4. So there you can take a look at that parabola. And it's facing up just like we thought it would be because the lead coefficient is positive. So that's how you graph a quadratic that's given to you in standard form. So now let's take a look at an example that's in vertex form. So if you remember again from your Algebra 2 days, vertex form is a x minus h squared plus k. So the first thing you can recognize with this problem is because you have this -1 sitting out front, your a value is negative, which means your parabola is going to be facing down rather than up. The next thing that you can identify are the values for h and k. So h here is -3 because x minus a -3 gives you this x plus 3 up here in the original problem, and your k value is 1. So your vertex for this problem is -3, 1. So we can go ahead and plot that nice and easily there. That'll be the top of our parabola. And then I'm going to clear that out so I can make a table as well for this one. And again, you want to go a little to the left and a little to the right with that table, just so you have a few points. This is the foolproof way of graphing without a graphing calculator. -4 here, -2, so 1 to the left, 1 to the right. And again, we just substitute these x values back up here in the original equation. So -4 plus 3 is -1. You square that, you get 1, then you have to take the opposite out here, so you have -1 plus 1, which is 0. You should also get a 0 down here. You want to double check and make sure it looks good. -2 plus 3 is 1, 1 squared is 1. Opposite of that is -1. You add that 1 and you get a 0. So here we're sitting at -4, 0, and -2, 0. So there you have that downward facing parabola here that we expected just by looking at that. It's always a good idea to take a look at the function first so you can almost kind of visualize it, and so you at least know roughly the position of it and maybe even the width of it too, depending upon how big that a value is. So again, this should help you with numbers 61 and 62 on your summer assignment.